Hey, Christian. There's something I need to ask you. I don't want you to lie or make any excuses, so just answer me honestly, okay?
Emma, what is it? Are you mad at me or something? Why do you sound so serious all of a sudden? Did I do something to you? Wait, did I forget about something we should have celebrated? You know I'm not very good with remembering specific dates, but I thought that our anniversary was next month.
Don't worry, it's nothing like that. I just heard some rumors, so I wanted to make sure from you directly, in case they weren't true. But is it true that your company is going bankrupt?
What? Why do you know about that?
So it's true? Why didn't you say anything about it to me earlier? I can't believe that you would keep something like this a secret.
I know I never mentioned it, but that's because I didn't think there was any reason to involve you. It would only have made you worry unnecessarily. So I didn't think there would be any problem to keep quiet about it.
What? Why would you think that? How is it not a problem? You're going to lose your job if your company goes bankrupt. And it very much involves me as well since I'm your girlfriend. Does that mean you're going to be unemployed?
Well, yes, in a sense. But just initially. And like I said, everything will be fine, so there's nothing to worry about. If everything goes as planned, I'll have something lined up right away so there won't be any time lost.
But there's no guarantee of that. How can you be so sure? Don't you know how hard it is to find a job right now? The job market is really bad. I've heard that losing your job is about the worst thing that could happen right now. It's pretty much impossible to find a new job. You'll end up on welfare without a doubt. Is that what you really want? How is it that you're so relaxed about this news?
Emma, just calm down, okay? There's nothing that you need to worry about. Just give me a chance to explain everything, okay?
Christian, we're done. Let's break up.
What?
I never knew that you were such a nonchalant person. Didn't you say that your company was about to go bankrupt? You're about to lose your job, but you don't seem the least bit worried. There's nothing to be optimistic about right now. You must be out of your mind or something.
What? I don't understand why you're getting so worked up over this. I'm not worried because there really isn't anything to be worried about. How else do you want me to explain myself?
But how can you be so sure that everything will be okay? Life never turns out the way you expect. I have no intention of marrying a man with no job because I don't want to struggle with money. And I definitely don't want to be tied down to someone who's going to need me to provide for them. So please, let's just break up now. Let me be free before it's too late to get away.
Emma, wait. You're getting way over your head with this. Just calm down for a second, okay? Give me a chance to explain everything to you. It seems unavoidable that my company will go bankrupt, but I promise you that there's going to be a job for me right after. So you don't need to worry. Just trust me, okay? We've been together since we were 20, so you should know by now that I won't lie to you about something so important. In fact, you probably know me better than I know myself. So you believe me, right?
Absolutely not. How do you expect me to believe someone with no plans about what they're going to do about their life? You're no longer at the age where you can just live for the moment anymore. I can't possibly imagine that your company became in danger of bankruptcy overnight. There must have been some signs that hinted at this outcome, like corrupt management or financial troubles. If you had been able to sense that something was wrong with your company earlier, then you would have been able to look for a new job before it was too late. But you waited until the last minute, so you're going to be out of a job no matter what now. Yet you're here trying to convince me that everything will be okay? But based on what? You don't expect me to believe you and stay by your side on just empty promises, do you?
Well, yes. I would feel the same way if I were in your position. But what I've been saying isn't just based on nothing. You can rest assured that everything is going to be okay. I promise. It's just that I can't go into too much detail right now because of confidentiality. But you can trust me. Everything will work out, so it'll all be okay.
That's what I'm saying! I can't just wait around until something bad happens. Everything is up in the air and there's too many factors that can go wrong. And you're going to become unemployed in this recession? How can you be so sure that you'll find a job right away when there are no jobs to begin with? You're paving your way right towards poverty. Besides, what else do you have going for you, Christian? Sure, you graduated from an elite college and were hired by a top corporation right away, but that's about it, right? So if you end up losing that job, there's nothing good that's left about you. And that leaves no reason to stay in a relationship with you any longer.
What? How dare you? Is that all you think of me? Am I only as good as my job?
Well, you know it's true. Why else did you think that I've been with you this whole time? It's not like you're especially good looking, and you're not even that tall. And sometimes you just act really stupidly. But on top of that, you're going to be poor and unemployed now. I just can't bear to be with you anymore.
Now you're just insulting me out of spite, which is really immature of you. Besides, if that's how you really feel, why did you even agree to become my girlfriend back in college? Money and job status was never an issue for any of us back then. And the only kind of jobs that anyone had were part-time weekend jobs. You obviously weren't dating me because I have money or any sort of high-ranking job.
You're right. We were just students back then, so none of us ever had much money. But that was part of the fun back then, you know what I mean? We didn't have to be doing anything, but it was still a lot of fun just hanging out with each other. But you have to realize that we're no longer young or carefree like we were back then. We're supposed to be mature, and we have to fulfill our duties as proper adult citizens now. Let's not be naive, okay? There's no denying that you need money to succeed. So yes, having a good and stable job is a very important factor in a relationship.
I get that, and I completely agree with you as well. But will you just give me a chance to explain myself?
No! What other explanation could there be? I'm not looking to hear any excuses, nor do I have any time for that kind of nonsense. I know you're just gonna try and convince me not to break up with you. Beg and plead that I support you from now on. But let me be clear about one thing. I absolutely cannot stand men who cling on to their girlfriends like that. Don't you have any pride? So please, let's just end this relationship right now so both of us can move on. And you better not come crawling back to me either. I want nothing to do with you ever again.
Fine, if that's really what you want. 6 years of being together, and you want to end things like this. It doesn't seem like I'll ever be able to convince you otherwise, so I guess this is it. I'm quite disappointed that our relationship meant so little to you, but I don't really have a choice, do I?
Great! I knew you'd understand. But you should have just said so from the beginning. Why did you have to put up such a fight? Anyways, I'm just glad that we didn't get engaged or anything. It was a close call, though. It's such a relief to know that I won't be stuck living a loser life now.
Emma! How could you say that?
You know it's true. I can't believe that I spent a full 6 years with you. For nothing! And unfortunately, I won't be able to get that time back. I hope you know that as soon as we're done with this conversation, I'm going to block all of your calls and messages right away. And all of your social media accounts as well. This is going to be the last time that we speak to each other for the rest of our lives. Goodbye, and good luck with your new life on welfare. Christian, are you there? It's me, Emma. Send me a reply when you see this message, okay?
Emma, is that you? What's with all these heart-covered text messages? What's going on?
Oh, finally! It took you long enough to send a reply. I saw you on the news. There was a feature about you online, and they even put up your picture.
What? Oh, that. Some magazine wanted to do a cover story about me, so I agreed to an interview recently.
Yeah, and I saw that article online. I had no idea. So imagine my surprise when I saw a picture of you pop up on my screen. But it definitely grabbed my attention. Why didn't you tell me that you became so successful? You mentioned in the interview that after your previous company went bankrupt, you were re-employed by another major corporation, and that you became very successful at your new job and made your way to the top very quickly. And you make more than $1 million a year? That's quite a promotion from your previous job. You're basically an elite. How does it feel to have so much money?
Yes, well, I think the writer exaggerated a bit about my annual income. In fact, I make a little bit less than $1 million a year.
That's still amazing. You became so successful immediately after you started your new job, too. How did you manage that? And how were you able to get hired by such an elite company in the first place?
About that, I guess I can tell you now because it's after the fact. But the current company that I work for is actually the parent company of my previous employer. And you know that my previous company went bankrupt, but that was actually done intentionally. In other words, it was a planned bankruptcy that had been implemented for more than a year before it actually happened.
What? It was all planned out that way?
Yes, but I still can't go into too much detail about it now because of confidentiality. But it was decided that the two companies would merge in an absorption-type merger. Essentially, the parent company acquiring the subsidiary company would bring a lot of benefits in the long run, so the bankruptcy was executed in a phased manner. It was all planned out from the beginning, so none of it came as a surprise. Besides, the executives gave a very clear explanation about what they were planning to all of the employees and business clients, so it all went down without any problems. And everything was done legally as well, with as much transparency as the law admitted.
I see. I don't really know the legality of that kind of thing, but it seems pretty complicated. It's pretty obvious that it was a pretty big deal, though, and that it involved a lot of money.
Anyways, all of the employees from the subsidiary company were offered a new job with the parent company, with similar or better working conditions. I decided to take that offer, which is why I'm working for the parent company now. And like you read in that interview, I was quite successful in my new position, so I was also given a promotion right away. I knew that things would work out in the end, but I never imagined such a huge leap in my career, so everything actually ended up even better.
Wow, that's really amazing. You must be really proud of yourself. And I'm so lucky to be dating such a hardworking and successful boyfriend.
Huh? What do you mean by boyfriend? And whose boyfriend are you talking about?
Oh, don't be silly. Of course I'm talking about you being my boyfriend, Christian.
What in the world are you talking about? Did you forget that you were the one who single-sidedly blocked all contact from me that day 8 years ago? I kept trying to tell you that there wouldn't be any problem finding a new job, but you didn't even give me the benefit of the doubt. Instead, you basically called me a poor, unskilled, good-for-nothing and demanded that we break up because you didn't want to be stuck supporting me. You have some nerve if you think that you can still call me your boyfriend.
I know, and I'm sorry for all the name-calling back then. But it was such a long time ago that we can put it all behind us, right? I realized that I was really naive back then, and I really regret making all those assumptions about you. But when you told me that your company was going bankrupt, it took me by complete surprise, and my mind just went blank. I wasn't thinking clearly, so I said some things that were pretty harsh. But you have to believe me that I didn't mean any of those things. I feel absolutely terrible about it now, and would take back everything I said if I could. It's not too late to ask for forgiveness, right? You know that I'm not like that, so you understand that I was just in a panic, right? Let's work things out between us, okay? And let's get married, because I just know that we were meant to be together.
I'm already married, though.
What?
You heard me. I'm already married. How long do you think it's been since we broke up? More than 8 years. I've been married for years now, and have a kid as well.
What? You're kidding, right? How could you go and get married and have kids without saying anything to me? That's just absurd! What about me?
What do you mean? Why should I need your permission to get married in the first place? Our relationship was long over by the time I met my current wife. You're nothing more than an old girlfriend that I used to have more than 8 years ago. We're no different than two complete strangers after all this time, don't you think?
How could you say that? I still have feelings for you, Christian, so I think that we can work things out between us. And if you know what's best for you, you would just break up with that woman because who knows where she came from? We have a history together, so we should be the ones who are married to each other.
Absolutely not. Besides, my wife and I were introduced to one another through an arranged marriage. She comes from a very wealthy family and she's extremely intelligent, but she's very modest about it. But don't get me wrong, she's not a pushover or anything. She has a very strong heart. And most importantly, she's very generous and has a calm demeanor, so I feel really fulfilled when I'm with her. I just feel really lucky that she agreed to be my wife. I'm nowhere near good enough for her. You're definitely more the one who came from nowhere.
Fine, if you have nothing bad to say about her. But I bet that I'm more attractive and a better woman than her. And I love you more than she loves you. Our relationship wasn't arranged, unlike the one with her. We've known each other since we were 20.
You really have a lot of nerve bringing that up now. Anyways, I've had enough of your nonsense already. In case I wasn't clear enough before, no means no. Why don't you go and bother one of your other ex-boyfriends instead?
No, wait! Just give me a chance to explain everything. First of all, I recently changed jobs. I work for Bronze Trading Company now. Have you ever heard of it?
Oh, congratulations on the new job. So you're working for Bronze Trading now? I think we received a sales call from one of your representatives recently. And as a matter of fact, we're currently deciding between your company and Golden Industries to partner with for our upcoming project.
Oh, really? I had no idea. But isn't it such a coincidence that we have this opportunity to reunite with one another? Let's just call it fate. So, you see, we were meant to be with one another. Anyways, I'm really looking forward to collaborating with you on your next project. And it'll give us a good reason to see each other one-on-one all the time. For meetings, if you know what I mean. So you'll be contracting with our company then, right?
Yeah, like I said, your company was one of the two that we were currently deciding between. But I've just decided that we'll go ahead and sign the contract with Golden Industries. I'm going to let my managers know right away that I have absolutely no intention of working with Bronze Trading.
What? I don't understand. Why would you do that?
Well, first of all, you basically demanded that I remarry you, knowing that I already had a wife and a family. And not only that, you kept trying to lure me into a compromising situation, no matter how many times I refused. You didn't really think that I would consider a business partnership with a company that employs someone as scheming as you, did you? There's no way that I could ever trust a company like that. And since I've been given full discretion to decide our new partner, I'm sure it's pretty obvious what my final decision will be. Anyways, I'm going to inform my managers tomorrow that we will go with Golden Industries for our upcoming project. At the same time, I plan on calling Bronze Trading and explaining to them very clearly as to why we will not be working together this time, or ever again, for that matter.
What? Wait! You can't do that! My managers will blame me for losing the contract for sure then!
Well, it is essentially your fault, so your managers would be right to blame you. Anyways, that settles it, and we no longer have any reason to correspond with one another.
What do you mean? You can't just leave me hanging like this! We're not done yet! We dated each other for more than 6 years! You can't just forget that fact like it never happened!
Don't worry, I haven't forgotten that. Especially since you keep bringing it up. But at the same time, I keep having to remind you that we broke up more than 8 years ago. There's nothing going on between us anymore. Stop trying to act like nothing has changed in all that time.
Fine, but wait. You have to at least give me a chance to explain my side of the story. I'll apologize for any misunderstandings between us. Okay? So you'll forgive me, right?
You really have some nerve, you know. You hardly gave me the chance to explain anything back then, so why in the world should I have to give you that courtesy now? That seems a bit unfair to me. And that's the kind of woman I most dislike. Never willing to admit to their mistakes, but always demanding that they get their way. Now that I think of it, I'm really glad that I agreed to end our relationship back then. Although it left me pretty devastated at the time, I'm more afraid of what the outcome would have been if we had stayed together.
Christian! You don't really mean that, do you?
Anyways, I better be going now. Thanks for your time. I'm glad that you gave me a legitimate reason to refuse your company as our new partner. Boy, that was a pretty close call, though. So yeah, don't even think about trying to contact me for personal or work reasons ever again.
Christian! Wait!
For a while afterwards, Emma's calls and messages kept coming nonstop, so I had no choice but to block her contact on all of my devices. I notified my managers about this incident involving Emma right away, and they agreed with my decision about not collaborating with Bronze Trading. In fact, they made a department-wide announcement that we will no longer work with Bronze Trading on any project moving forward. Obviously, we had to explain to Bronze Trading the reason behind our decision not to collaborate with them, so they were informed about Emma's unprofessional behavior. It goes without saying that her reputation at work took a nosedive, and she was immediately transferred to a lowly position, where she was stuck pushing papers back and forth all day. She bore a grudge against me for causing her demotion, so she came charging into my company one day to try and get back at me. Unfortunately, she started to get pretty violent when security wouldn't let her through the gates, and she ended up breaking the card reader by the security desk. In the end, she was taken away by the police. I later found out that she was fired from her job because of this outburst, so she ended up becoming unemployed. And in this tough job market, she was unable to secure a new job, so she became exactly what she despised: a poor nobody living on welfare. Now who's the one that's living day to day with no concrete plans for the future? Anyways, she hasn't tried to contact me ever since that day, so I guess she finally got the idea that she was nothing more than just a painful memory of my past. It took her long enough to get it through her head, but I guess it's better late than never. And because I no longer have to worry about her getting on my case, I'm able to work even more diligently than before and focus on obtaining results. All of my efforts are fully rewarded when I go home and see my loving family every night. And every time I see my wife and child, it reassures me that I made the right decision breaking up with Emma 8 years ago.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to see more content. See you next time!